He said, "This is a groundbreaking historic political achievement." Those words capture the magnitude officials are attaching to the breakthrough announced late Wednesday. Israel and Hamas have signed off on phase one of a US-brokered peace plan. The news has sparked both celebration and deep suspicion. For many, releasing hostages after more than 2 years of conflict evokes long-awaited hope. For others, the fine print is terrifyingly thin and laden with risk. One senior US policy advisor told the audience, "This is a groundbreaking historic political achievement based on the back of Israeli and American use of military force and diplomacy to press on adversaries and allies alike to get Hamas to give up all hostages, both dead and remaining, and allow political space to emerge to go for all of the Trump 20-point peace plan." Behind that bold framing lies a delicate balancing act. Can the bold be sustained, or will momentum collapse, leaving the region worse off than before? What is certain, the advisor cautioned, until hostages are in the arms of their loved ones, feels like you are holding your breath. There is room for things to fall apart. Indeed, the intermediate phase of any deal is riddled with peril. The advisor noted, "I am concerned about potential for things to fall apart, not right now in the phase it would take for Hamas to give up hostages or Israelis to navigate what they will have to navigate to get this deal across the finish line. I'm worried when hostages come back home, looming over this fragile window is the broader geometry of power in the region." The advisor linked Iran, Hamas, Hezbollah and the Houthis into a transnational network of opposition to US and Israeli interests. In his words, they are anti-American and anti-Israel, and they are waiting for America and Israel to go back to an October 6th stance. That reference to October 6th alludes to the momentum shift wrought in late 2023 when Hamas launched a massive assault into Israel, an action that triggered Israel's deep incursion into Gaza and the long war that followed. The warning is that should the US and Israel retreat from firm posture, adversaries will reassert themselves. As one Egyptian official put it, the deal currently on the table is a stopgap measure to keep talks from collapsing over more difficult issues like disarming Hamas. The next phase, involving dismantling the group's military capabilities and redefining Hamas's role, will be far more contentious. Addressing that challenge, the advisor contended, incredibly difficult if anyone can do it, it is indeed President Trump. He argued that US-Israel alignment matters. Israel knew they had a partner in the White House. The Americans took Israel's security concerns 100% to heart. That, he said, created the political space to shift from phase one to the more complex phase two. Still, he acknowledged, Hamas and its supporters will drag their feet every step of the way when it comes to phase two and fighting over definition about disarmament. Hamas is down, but not out. The interviewer asked whether Iran could somehow be part of a peace process. The advisor responded with nuance. Both you and the president are 100% right to connect the dots. Islamic Republic of Hamas. He drew a tight line. While he saw a theoretical possibility for peace between Iran and Israel, what there cannot be is Republic of Iran as currently constituted. That is the government trying to sponsor terrorist attacks against the life of the sitting US president. That is a government that wants Americans to kill the sitting president of the United States. He praised Trump's dual strategy. The president is a peacemaker and understands the use of military force. He wants to be a peacemaker. He was right to maximize a pressure campaign. And if he wants a different relationship between Iran and Israel, I would say, sir, keep going and keep up the pressure. The conflict has unfolded across more than one front. The interviewer asked, how weakened are Hezbollah and the Houthis? The advisor replied, this entire network is down, it is not out. Israel has shown the world there is a military option on the table. He argued that Israel and Iran's proxy networks have come under repeated strikes, that intermediaries and smuggling piped through regional routes have been disrupted, and that the scale of pressure has forced parts of that system into retreat. Yet he cautioned, down, not out. Adversaries remain a latent force. To underscore the stakes, he said that the Israeli leadership and the US are the ones now holding the cards, but added, let's see how they take it through to the end. The deal, as announced, constitutes a highly conditional and technically ambitious phase one framework. It includes a cessation of hostilities in Gaza, Israeli troops withdrawing to defined lines, Hamas releasing all remaining hostages, both living and deceased, Israel releasing thousands of Palestinian prisoners, and a push toward a transitional governance structure in Gaza built around technocrats and international oversight. But challenges abound. Hamas must deliver all hostages within a narrow window and without spectacle. Israel must reciprocate with hundreds or thousands of detainees. Any delay or omission can unravel trust. The deal leaves open how to disarm Hamas, how to rename or restructure Gaza's leadership, and who oversees it. Israel rejects Hamas retaining military capacity. Hamas resists losing autonomy. Iran, Hezbollah, and the Houthis could seek to undermine the process from beyond Gaza. In the advisor's words, they are waiting for America and Israel to go back to an October 6th stance. The Israeli government must formally approve terms. Embedded political actors could block or alter the deal. Any misstep could provoke backlash, militarily or politically. Trump's role is not merely mediator. As president, he is the architect, sponsor, and guarantor of the 20-point framework. The advisor insisted that because Israel believed in US support and shared security concerns were taken seriously, political space opened that previous deals lacked. Critics would argue that much of the plan is aspirational and that the real test will come in implementation, not announcements. The advisor drew a clear red line. Iran's current regime remains unacceptable, both for its history of proxy warfare and its ideological posture toward the US and Israel. Yet he also allowed for a conceptual future in which a reformed Iran might find pathways to accommodation. His formula: pressure plus opportunity. Maintain leverage while signaling that transformation, not merely confrontation, could open new paths. In Lebanon and Yemen, the advisor sees groups weakened but still dangerous. A main point of strength, he argued, is Israel's ability to project power and send deterrent signals. Whether that suffices to prevent resurgence is unclear. For families of hostages, the announcement is a lifeline. Some have already begun tentative celebrations, but many retain deep skepticism born of prior failed ceasefires and broken promises. The words of the US advisor, until hostages are in the arms of their loved ones, feels like you are holding your breath, resonate deeply. In Gaza, people live between hope and horror. Years of bombardment, displacement, and destruction have exacted a terrible toll. The promise of cessation, reconstruction, and agency is meaningful. But even the best laid plans can crumble under mistrust, violence, or defections. Israel seeks not just cessation, but security. Its leadership views this deal as a test. Can Israel project force to deter, negotiate peace to stabilize, and withdraw without seeding dangerous vacuums? For Washington, success would represent one of the largest diplomatic breakthroughs in the region, cementing US influence, recalibrating alliances, and reducing a protracted conflict. For regional players from Egypt and Qatar to Turkey and Saudi Arabia, the deal offers both promise and peril. And for Iran, success or failure will shape its forward posture. International isolation could intensify, or a shifting balance might create room for reassessment. The agreed terms must be accepted by Netanyahu's cabinet and broader political coalition. Any recalibration there could threaten the timetable. Once approved, Hamas is expected to release all living hostages and remains within a fixed window, a dramatic and logistically complex task. Israel is to release thousands of Palestinian prisoners, some of whom have committed serious offences. The selection, timing, and manner of release will need careful calibration to manage domestic backlash. Any break in the ceasefire, whether by militants, Israeli operations, or support networks, would erode trust and quickly jeopardize the broader deal. The deepest test lies in disarmament and governance. Who will monitor and enforce it? How will Gaza be ruled during the transition? Can Hamas be sidelined peacefully? The advisor expects Hamas to stall at every turn. Israel and the US must maintain credible deterrence against interference from Iran, Hezbollah, or the Houthis. Without it, regional actors may see opportunities to upset the deal. This agreement is not final peace, it is a gamble on process. Its success hinges on execution, trust, and deterrence. The senior advisor was candid. Hamas is down but not out, and this entire network is down, it is not out. These are warnings, not triumphal claims. He also emphasized that Trump and his alignment with Israeli security concerns created a rare window of political space. That space, however, may be fragile. Let's see how they take it through to the end, he said. The burden now rests on whether diplomacy can thread the needle between militarized leverage and sustainable peace,